I'm hitting record on this. It's okay. Also, make sure you do it on your voice memo.
And mute your phone. I started recording on my voice memo.
Okay, it has started recording.
Okay. And we're live in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's the Emo Chronicles, and you've reached...
And Shizzle. Fuck, I'm so sorry.
Wait, let's start that
over! Can we start again?
Okay. Hey guys, One.
Hold on, a pop-up.
No.
Why?
Hey guys, this is the Emo Chronicles.
And Ed and Shizzle.
And you've made it to the LOTES podcast, which of course stands for Life on the Emo Scene, emo-scene.
Life on the emo scene. You know what it also stands for? If you put an E in front of it, LOTES. Do you know what that means?
Corn. But do you know why I know that? Because you did just tell me that right before we started the podcast.
You gotta just pretend that I didn't. Okay.
Yeah.
But,
okay. So anyways, that didn't just happen, Corn. But anyways, today, guys, what we're going to be talking about is really juicy, really exciting. So we have, first off, a guest star named Becky Mayo. You might actually know her from her Tumblr scene days. She's going to be our guest star. And then we're also going to be talking about, you want to do some introductions here?
The scene Jeffrey Epstein is what I believe we're going to be talking about. I have a lot to say about that guy. Sticky drama, you know?
Yeah, there's a lot on Stickam. There's a lot on just every crazy bit, and you're going to get that in all of it. But also, we're going to go on about quite a bit of like scene, emo, internet drama. Some that I've been involved in, some that he may have been involved in, some that we just know about.
Some from the past, some from the present, some from the future.
We might not do the future, but like, I don't know. We can do a prediction. A few other things we're going to be hitting on. I'm going to do a little bit on My Chemical Romance because I couldn't do this without doing that.
Hey, who's My Chemical Romance?
Who's My Chemical Romance? Suddenly all of my fans have turned the podcast off. American rock band, My Chemical Romance. Yeah,
I thought they were British.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right. They are secretly all British. So
doesn't it feel like most emo bands are kind of British or like maybe English?
Emo, like I always kind of thought was like a British thing. I thought all the emo people were just like in Ireland. Like, I don't know why I thought that. Like, I guess I had somebody on MySpace who was from Ireland and I was like, I want to go there because everybody's emo.
No, it's true. It's like when I first saw like English emo kids or like British emo kids, I was like, wait, that's literally like the origin. That's where they're from. That's where it all began.
Yeah, but it turns out it was actually just LA, right?
Arizona,
LA.
Arizona transplanted to LA. Arizona transplanted to LA. Some from Ohio. Those are the green-haired ones.
Yeah, and if you guys don't know Eden, he was actually right dab in the middle of all of that craziness. So Eden, aka Amor Hilton's brother, yeah, you might know her.
Where's my identity?
But he had the emo swoop. He had the emo hair. He was in the middle of everything. I
kind of had like a big mop wig. It wasn't as emo. It was more just like a big thing on my head. I tried. Didn't really succeed, so I was like, I'll let my friends take this one.
But it wasn't a wig. You straightened your hair. You told me.
No, I know. It looked like a wig.
Yeah, no. So you have some juicy gossip for us.
Oh.
Right?
Oh, yeah, you ask, I tell.
Where are we going to start? Because, man, are the things he has told me so far. So, I've kind of teased this a little bit on my last live, so a lot of the people who saw it, but there is like some crazy stuff that went down in the middle of like all the emo scene stuff that we didn't even notice, right? So, Eden, you want to take the floor? Do you want to take the lead?
It's all documented like on the internet. You know how the internet will never go away. I mean, certain things on the internet, they don't go away. A lot of the drama from the emo and scene community from back in the day, 10, 15 years ago, 2009, whatever, is still on the internet. And some of the things are still said about me some of the bad things that have been said about me are still on the internet too. And I just kind of maybe want to address some things throughout this, throughout the series, just to clear my name in a few things. And I definitely will. But about the scene Jeffrey Epstein, do you want to start off with a little tea about who he might be and what exactly he may have done in the past?
But yeah, so let's just preface and say I have no involvement, and all of the stuff we're gonna like go into right now, we're just gonna use the term allegations. But so I don't know if you guys did like Omegle, Stickham,
I
Chat
thought it was
Roulette.
Omegle.
Oh, I said Omegle. You know what? Like everybody comes for me because I say everything wrong anyways. So
No, you said AIM right. I said AIM back in the
I
day,
know,
unless we
but
were both wrong.
I had some dude comment and he's like, "Yeah, no, I grew up when AIM was used, and we called it AIM." Yeah, no, I did too.
The disrespect.
Yeah, I know. No, people like to tell me how to talk. I can't talk. I already know that. But yeah, so I'm sure you guys like went on those like Tiny Chat. There was like a lot of really cool websites like that that we probably shouldn't have gone on when we were younger.
Live webcam sites.
Oh yeah, that was the thing. Like,
Those
'cause
are trouble.
yeah,
That's where you're asking for trouble.
yeah.
Uh,
Oh
oh my
yeah,
God.
there's too much trouble.
If you guys remember stickcam.com, that was like the main outlet for scene kids and emo kids to just share, express themselves or, And I just wanted to add this episode is brought to you by my bestie hair dryer mount. It's a blow dryer mount that you could stick on your wall and you could style your hair however you want while it's blowing your hair. It's really perfect. You don't have to have your hands. I mean, you can have your hands free and style it how you want while the air is just blowing you. I suggest that everyone look into this and get your own.
Can I do a middle part with that?
Could you do a middle part with it? You could do
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, everybody wants me to get one.
You can do a faux hawk. You're gonna get a middle part?
No, I'm not gonna get a middle part. Everybody wants me to get a middle part, and I really don't want to get a
I
middle
was
part.
gonna say that's very not seen of you.
No, I'm not gonna get a middle part.
And
I've done it, and
one we do seen.
yeah, that's the thing. We do the side bangs. That's the only way I can like look at myself and feel okay. But yeah, so I know we just kind of like that was a word from our sponsor type thing. That's probably just gonna be inserted into there abruptly.
It will be.
Bestie hair dryer. The hair dryer that's your best friend.
Is that what it says?
No.
Oh my god. Hands-free styling with Bestie blow dryer holder. Yeah, I liked yours better.
Yeah, whichever it is, get it. So we're gonna get into Stickam a little bit, right? So Eddie knows Stickam quite a bit. Did you actually go on cam?
Oh, often. And I remember the first few times I went on, I was like, I don't want people to know how I look because all my pictures are like basically contrasted and from an angle. And right now I'm not. But I had a good time going live because people would come in and be like, hey, I watch your YouTube videos, or hey, do you know John Hawk? And things like that, which always kind of, as a teenager, you like the attention, and I liked the attention. I never brought it up back then. But these days I'll admit it because I'd be dumb to pretend that I didn't like doing something that I did every day for 2 years going on Stickam. It was literally its own community. It's just like TikTok, but in the past.
Yeah, I mean that's like.
Did you ever go on it?
No, I didn't go on Stickam, but I went on every other website probably. I mean, like I browsed Stickam. I didn't go on it a lot because it was definitely associated with like naked people, and you know what I mean? Like
I don't know. I mean, it could have been associated with naked people depending on who you were talking to. I know that you could go private on Stickam if like that was like the thing when people would be like, "Ooh, he went private and blah 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 was in the room." People would kick people out of the room and like leave one person in and go private, and you wouldn't know what went down with them. So, I mean, when it comes to being naked on Stickam, I think that you would get banned if you did, but they weren't as like strict as the social media apps these days. So you're right.
because when you Google it, if you go under the images, just don't do that, guys. Because
Yeah.
That's was always my thing. And like I had Tiny Chat. We all had like our websites like that. But it's funny because you say that, and like I think this is also before like YouTube was probably I mean, like YouTube was around because you had one, but like the times like to communicate, like you didn't really have like as many fans, and you couldn't really be as engaging as fans on YouTube. But Stickam, you can talk with them. So it's
Yeah.
funny because you have like all of these like Team 10 houses, right? Like, that's a Jake Paul thing, I think. But from what you've told me, there was a sticky drama house.
Yeah, so there was a content house for the influencers on stickam.com, and it was very toxic. I'd say that it was supposed to be something different in the first place when they first brought it up, when stickydrama.com first brought the idea of this house up. He presented it sort of like a live webcam version of the real world. And I know a lot of people these days don't even know what the real world is, which shocked me. when I brought this up to somebody, they were like, what? And I was like, you don't know what the real world is? I think it's because, you know, we're old or whatever. But he presented it that way. He set up a couple cameras in the house, which were security camera styled cameras. And he would go live on a chat room. There were chat rooms on Stickam where you can go live and people would just all be on camera or just in the chat room, like big chat rooms. It was different than a regular live room. It was like a group chat room, but the main person is, I don't remember if their camera was bigger than everyone's or not. And he would go live on that. And people, I think there was only maybe 1 or 2 recordings, and it wasn't as interesting as people expected because, you know, when people live their lives on a reality show, they cut in all the interesting parts and put it together and the drama. When it's just all live like that, like how he had it, I remember tuning in for a second because I wasn't at the house. I didn't come over yet or whatever. I was just like about to come over. Amor was there. My friend Maddie was there. And they were just like chilling. They're smoking a cigarette on the bunk bed or something like that, which is gross to do that indoors. And it was just so boring. I remember people in the chat being like, this isn't fun or this is not what I expected.
Wait,
it was a content house.
I think we also forgot something. We forgot to kind of like go into, and I want to get back onto that because I think that's so interesting. But so another thing, so I'm saying Sticky House, right? I'm saying you hear Stickam, you think Sticky House, but that's not where Sticky House came from. It was Sticky Drama. Sticky Drama.
Sticky Drama came from stickam.com.
Yes. So it was kind of highlighting on that at the time.
Can I just say, Sticky Drama was first called stickitinyourbutt.com. Am I allowed to say that? Whatever. It was called stickitinyourbutt.com, and they changed it. And stickitinyourbutt.com was because of Stickam, but they weren't as serious. And when they got serious about it, they changed it to Sticky Drama, I think for several reasons. So that's I
can see that for many reasons, if not just one. Oh man. So here's a thing about Sticky Drama though. If you go to that website, he was definitely trying to be like Perez Hilton of the time. He was trying to report on seeing kids, but it was just like so vile. Like if you go to the website, everything's still up and you can kind of like search by person. Like if you just go in, I mean, you told me one-on-one how he was just like capitalizing on people's deaths. Like he was asking people for pictures of dead scene kids. Like, I don't know why anyone would want that.
He posted Kiki Campbell's ex-dead face. He even did that on TikTok. I know we all saw that. I tried to get that removed because I was disgusted with it in the first place. He capitalized on my ex's death, who I was actually dating at the time when he passed away. And he capitalized on this guy TL's death. I don't even want to like go into detail of these people just to respect their families and stuff, but just basically influencers on Stickam that had a larger audience that had passed away, he would sort of post things on his website like conspiracy, are they actually alive, or good riddance, things that you shouldn't say about someone who has just passed away, but that's what sociopaths do.
Yeah, and there's it's just so bad. Like news articles would be like, oh my god, more were this, but it wasn't like it was. I feel like that sounds like a People magazine. It was like you know, it was just a lot of stuff on it that really should not be said. And
I agree. Like, I wholeheartedly agree that it was just more of a toxic place. Like, the internet back then was a lawless place. It didn't have guidelines. It probably did. It wasn't as strict and it wasn't followed, or you know what I mean? It wasn't like watched over. English is my second language, guys. I'm so sorry for the slip ups, but that shouldn't be
really fine. No, and I mean, like, that's probably part of the reason Tila Tequila was so interested in you when you had your baby with her. But so anyways, like going back with like the Sticky Drama stuff, so it's just really interesting how that all happened. So like you have somebody who creates a website, and then after they create the website, just reporting on drama.
Did you just talk about Tila Tequila being my baby mama?
I was just trying to. Okay, so yeah, as we were kind of mentioning about Sticky Drama, we're gonna really dive into this further on. There's going to be so much with it, and there's so much, but I want to get into the key players, like the key components, right? So we're going to start off with obviously Amor Hilton. You have Eden, right? Didn't you mention Chris Crocker?
Chris Crocker is a friend of mine still. I met him back in the day right after his Leave Britney Alone video. I was a big fan of his, actually. And I feel like I thought that fan was a bad word back then because everyone would just call each other fan, like when they would just be sarcastic towards each other. So I kind of got really embarrassed when my friend John Asher, who actually he ended up producing one of Britney Spears' songs recently, and she put it out. So I'm like, congratulations, John Asher, you are doing it great. He's the one that introduced me to him, and before I actually met him, he was like, I was like, I'm really nervous, and he was like, oh, don't worry, I told him you're a huge fan, and I was like, oh, don't you dare. But it turned out that they were really like, he was just really nice to me, and we just kicked it off from there, and we've been friends ever since he moved back to Tennessee. Or is that where he lives, Tennessee?
I have no idea. But
Yeah.
did you know that he dated Jeffree Star?
Yeah, I was friends with him at the time. So he was dating Jeffree Star. I'm pretty sure it was for publicity. No offense to Chris. I know he knows this, or he would probably agree that he didn't have actual feelings for Jeffree. It was more so of shock factor.
Yeah.
It was.
I mean, you know, that I could see it 100%. And I understand that while Jeffree being a key player at the time, I mean, there was some involvement with you in a car that has to do with Jeffree Star a little bit.
In a car? Well, I mean, there was a conversation in a car after I picked up my friend from Jeffree's house. And that's all talked about on the Billboard magazine article that came out about Jeffree in late October. And also there's a YouTube video coming out by Unwind with Tasha K, where she does a whole interview with me about him. I feel like I just don't give the story the best justice. Then again, me saying this is probably going to make people want to watch it. It's not out yet. Yeah, but there with Jeffree and the car, we'll say, I picked up my friend Gage from Jeffree's one night with my friend Kelly. When we picked him up, we kind of teased him and we were like, so what did you guys do? Gage is straight, mind you. So back then there wasn't really that big of a sensitivity around like poking fun at people's sexuality and stuff like that. And I was young and naive and just kind of joking with him and just being like, oh, did you take it in the, you know what? Things like that. And he actually opened up to us and told us how uncomfortable he felt because of the fact that Jeffree insisted that they hook up. And when Gage continuously said, no, I don't want to, no, I'm good on that, Jeffree pulled out a taser and basically kicked him out. Long story short, he got kicked out and we had to pick him up. And then my friend Kelly from Compton, is the one that took him in. So he's lived at her house for the rest of the time of him living in LA. And I feel like that's very unfortunate.
It's crazy how like you're so involved and just in the middle of all of this. It's just there's so much drama, all of that involved into it. And you know, so like who else? Like what other like key players do you want to name? John Hawk, obviously, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say it all started when my sister Amor started dating John Hawk, and he was very what's the word, prevalent. He was very,
he was a scene king. Okay,
he was just a very popular scene kid on Stickam and MySpace. And actually my friend Vicky was a fan of his before we even met him, which was crazy to me because we literally met him like less than a month after she was talking about him to me and telling me like that she knows who he is and blah, blah, blah. And then when Amor started dating him, she was like, what? How? And then it just all unfolded from there because we kind of got desensitized to the popular scene kids versus regular scene. It just all became one. And that's where the drama comes in because a bunch of scene kids mixed together doesn't really do well with, you know, alcohol, Four Locos, all that. People say how they feel. People will say how they feel after they leave the room. So much drama when it comes to that.
Speaking of drama, did you ever know a Zoo suicide? Zooey, I don't know how you say her name.
How do you say it? Zooey or Zoo?
I say Zoo, but I don't pronounce anything right. So
I'll say Zoo suicide because I don't want to say Zooey suicide because it sounds weird. But if that's her name, I'll say it.
Did you know her?
I didn't know her. I didn't know her until recently when you guys got into your little beef on TikTok, actually. But I know that she was friends with Audrey Kitching. I knew who Audrey Kitching was. I knew who Hannah Beth was. I knew there was like a little clique there. So I'm guessing Zoo was part of that clique. But I just never knew her until recently. Maybe I've seen her and didn't realize it.
Yeah, I mean, she like it's funny because like she definitely had quite a following. You know, she literally dated Burt McCracken from The Used, which I mean, I'm very jealous. I'm not gonna lie. Probably wasn't his prime time though. Also, I'm scared that she might like have met Gerard Way or like know Gerard Way in passing because like Bert and Gerard were best friends at the time, and I just want to marry Gerard. Um,
Leave it.
but but yeah, no. So she did that. She also like alongside being like Audrey Kitchen's little sidekick, she had that whole Trashy Life sequel, which it's funny because I feel like the Trashy Life is really similar to what you were kind of doing with Amore and
Good
everything.
Life and the IRL World on
Yeah.
YouTube. Are
Yeah.
you talking about YouTube? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you sent me the link to the Trashy Life today. I didn't end up clicking it yet. I'm gonna probably watch it after today. I should have watched it. But I'm assuming, did they do like a fake reality show?
Yeah.
It was a scripted reality show, like as a joke, or did they?
I don't know if it was fake or not. It was just pretty much them like running around like talking to people, like showing how their
Uh,
life was like the trashy life. I don't know.
I get what you're saying though.
I know that I like loved Audrey Kitching. Like I was a big Audrey fan. I think that's why I kind of knew of her. But it's kind of sad that Audrey scammed those people because she's probably my favorite of all time. Did
Which
you
I
know that?
never knew about. I never realized that she scammed everyone by buying that jewelry and then overpricing it and marking it as her own or whatever.
You didn't
Allegedly,
know?
I didn't know until you reported about it.
Oh my God, that was big, big, big
Yeah,
news.
I never was interested in Audrey Kitching because I just felt like Amore, Amore two, or Audrey one, Audrey two. It was just all like, okay, I already have this pink head to deal with. I don't need to deal with other pink heads, you know. So it was like that. I never really looked into her drama because there was already so much drama surrounding the people that I was around all the time.
Oh, dude, Audrey, I could do like a full like. We might even have to dedicate like a whole thing. I wonder if we can get Zoo to talk about her a little bit. I don't even know if I could get Zoo to tell me anything, but I mean, I wonder if we could get anybody to tell
How
me.
would you? Yeah, I was gonna say.
No, I mean, no, that's. But we're talking a lot about MySpace, and I think we should totally dig into this like other episodes. But you know what's
Yeah.
really interesting because it's like you talk about like all these groups, right? So like the MySpace had like and like the scene kids were friends with each other. It was definitely a click thing, and I think you had mentioned it was kind of like a costume thing, right? Like these people
Very
were seen
clicky.
before. Yeah, clicky, yeah. But like their appearance didn't you said like sometimes they weren't seen, like Kiki Cannibal, and then she just like draws through lines in her hair and then
Okay, so yeah, about Kiki, what I was talking about was when she had stripes, she wouldn't always wear them. So there were times where she would go live on Stickam and just have her hair like flat and down and not like teased or anything. And so I feel like it was more a persona that a lot of people were putting on, including Amore. I mean, Amore's hair was pink regardless of if she was being Amore Hilton or Nicole, you know? And that's actually her legal name, Nicole. So so there were lots of times where you would see the scene kids like when they would just get out of the shower or just wake up and they'd just not be as scene looking because the eyeliner's missing, the hair is just whoosh.
oh yeah.
And by the way, I had that emo hair, like the
Oh,
flit, whatever, but when I'd wake up, it's a whole different story. I'm Jewish and I'm Middle Eastern, so I have very textured hair when it's not blow dried, and I would straighten it every single morning. If I didn't straighten it, it would be literally like a whoosh, but like down, like
I'm right there with you. This is not natural. Right there. I
wow.
get it. I'm Jewish curls right here too. But it's just like it's so funny that that's like it's not. But I will say I was gonna go on a tangent here, and hold on. I don't want to go off my tangent too much, but it's funny because I feel like scene. So you kind of get like I feel like in terms of like there's a whole I don't know how to explain it like genres of like alternative. So I want to say like a lot of the movement started with like punk being a big thing, and then punk kind of was like led into like Green Day turning punk into like
I
pop
feel
punk.
like it was goth first, right?
And then,
And
well,
then
I think goth happened around the same time as punk, and there are two different genres. But I feel like what happened was a lot of punk people went to goth because it was so similar. And then goth kind of turned itself into emo. Now, punk still stayed in the background. Goth still stayed, it's still around here today. Punk is really not as relevant, but goth is there. Emo is somewhat there, but emo's like really died off. But like
by the time you get to emo, it's not just like a physical appearance because like you're putting there's so much into it that it's like it's more of like a personality trait. Like I hate to say that, but
Yeah.
like, you listen to the same kind of music, you do similar type of things, you dress, but like there, it's like to a point that it's not like I want to say it's not forced. I don't know how to explain that. It could be depending on
Yeah.
the person.
It's a lifestyle.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you draw
Some
those
days.
circle-headed stick figures with the big eyes that are holding like hearts that are broken, that whole thing. And I think that goth is like the emo of the past. And well, it's obviously not the same thing, but goth was emo and punk was like scene in my eyes because I feel like punk was like colorful and
Well,
piercing.
that's where, yeah, that's where I'm kind of going with this because I feel like what happened was after you have that, then all of a sudden you bring scene into it. So scene is like you're literally taking emo, making the hair bigger. So now we're hitting almost 80s, right? It's like 80s but with straight hair, but then also mixing in like punk factors and mixing in just like all kinds of different factors. And there was different types of like scene, and that's going to be something I want to hit on as well. There's different genres of scene, and I know right now then the phase like from scene kids, they automatically went from scene to hipster, and then like all of a sudden now e-girl is happening. E-girl
Yes.
is strange, like early 2000s revival mixed with a clown.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. What? What?
Okay.
What's
Hear
it
me
called?
out. E-girl.
Oh, e-girl. I thought you
E-girl.
said something else. Okay, well, yeah. Yeah, I
They
guess what you're
draw,
saying.
they paint their noses red. They put red here and here, and then they do like the dots, and no shade against the appearance, I get it, but like they
Mhm.
do clown makeup on purpose. No, I'm not like that's not like not a fence thing. Like
Not
that's
all of them, right? Because I've seen e-girls that are just e-girls that are just like e-girls, right?
yeah, but there's like definitely that's like one of the styles, and like also like the eyebrows, like you lose like this part, and then a lot of the time, they do like you could do the stripes down here. There's different types, you know what I mean? Like there
Is
was like black-haired scene girls, and then there was like bright pink-haired scene
yeah,
girls.
yeah, the two genres of scene,
The
which
two
is
genres, there's the only
um,
two.
but do you think Becky Mayo was a scene girl or a e-girl?
Well, that's kind of what I was going to get into. So then you have different genres of scene. She definitely wasn't an e-girl, but you have MySpace, which was definitely the original, and then you have Tumblr. So it's funny you say that because I definitely want to get Becky Mayo in on this conversation.
We
But
definitely
yeah,
should.
I think we should too. So yeah, stand by just
I
one
have some
second.
questions.
Yeah, we're gonna get her involved.
I've seen that one picture.
Yes.
Where's Becky Mayo?
She said she's on her way in. She said it's just installing it, I guess.
So Becky Mayo is on the way into the chat, and I have a few questions for that Tumblr scene queen because I haven't really ever spoken to her besides here and there before this episode. I
Yeah.
definitely want to ask her about how she dealt with certain things online, and I want to compare that to how Amor or even I dealt with certain online hate. So I'm very interested to see different takes on that.
I'm wondering if she even got a lot of hate. Tumblr was a different era. Tumblr, but you know what?
If
You know what?
you had a following, you had hate.
You always do. It always happens. It does. TikTok's the best because like there's hate, but like there's not as much sometimes.
I don't know. I feel like TikTok is like the most hateful app I've ever been on besides Stickam. Even though Stickam was still not as hateful, it was sticky drama and the people that would be toxic about it. But TikTok, there are such, no offense to a lot of, I mean, if the shoe fits, offense, but TikTok just has a lot of people that are ready to come for you no matter what you do. And even if you're stating your intention isn't bad, they'll still find a way to prove that it actually is bad. It's just that's the way I see it. I see the toxicity is a lot different, even though it was way more toxic back then. It's still toxic, but to a different degree today. Social media is what I mean by it.
But
Oh, Becky Mayo is in the chat. Becky Mayo is connecting to audio. But
yes.
welcome, Becky Mayo, everyone. The one and only legendary Tumblr scene queen, Becky Mayo. I love your shirt, by the way, and your hair.
Very much.
I've been trying to convince her to get a scene haircut though. Although I do love the hair, I gotta say.
I mean, I feel like the haircut's really seen. It's because it's got the side bangs and the tees going on. I like it.
I actually hate this hair. It's because it's all one length.
like when it's got layers in it, it's so much easier to backcomb. But look how long it's got now. It's like
It's so good. Is that your natural hair color?
it is, yeah. This is natural. I used
I
to have
like
it a lot lighter, but I'm hoping to get layers in it. I kind of like want to do a whole new TikTok where it's all like layered and coloured, and but I'm also worried that I'm going to look like 5 years younger if I do it. So it's kind of
Yeah, but like, what's wrong with that? Also, bro, look, I have all the layers in my hair. It's a thing. You'll rock it. I don't think you'll look 5 years younger. The girls nowadays, they have middle parts. And
I too have hair.
you have hair.
One day I won't.
So we're gonna like get right into this. So if you guys know Becky Mayo, first off, she is on TikTok, which your handle is the real
Do you
Becky.
have the photo of her? That one photo that we can show the viewers? Can we share screen on
followed
this?
me around my entire life.
Yeah.
Can we share screens on?
I'm gonna I got this. I know how to do this. Hold on 1 second. Let me pull this up. I actually typed in Becky.
I sometimes worry that I overuse the picture as well. Like it was on like the first 5 videos.
It's your brand.
Now I
Yeah.
kind of like cringe at myself.
No, don't.
It's your brand. I mean, honestly, when I saw the photo of you, when she was like, "Do you know who Becky Mayo is?" and blah blah, blah, I was like, "That name sounds familiar, but I don't think I've ever seen her." Then when she sent the photo, I was like, "I've seen that picture for sure. Like, I've definitely seen the picture of you with a."
Yeah.
You know, and since we can't share screens on
No,
here,
we can, and I'm pulling it up. Just 1 second. I have a better way to
realize
do it.
that.
Yeah, just stand by.
Stand
Okay,
by.
okay, guys. Okay, guys. You can't see the whole thing.
But if you know, you know.
Yeah, if you know, you know. This is the picture of her. Yeah, no, it's so
She's
good.
a Tumblr legend, basically.
So we were kind of talking about how there's different levels of like, you know how it went from like punk to emo to scene, and then we were talking about how there's like different levels of scene, right? Because you have like the whole Myspace generation, which Eden was a part of, and then you have the Tumblr generation, which you almost like pioneered, right? Because your picture was everywhere. So like, how did you get into that? Like, at what point did you start doing that hair and having that look and everything, I guess?
And can I add to that question, when did you realize that you were actually going viral?
It's a strange. It was like 2008 to like 2010 is when I started. Like, it was more like I was like into the whole emo, you know, like early emos with like My Chem and the arm warmers. Remember arm warmers that people used to wear?
The striped ones, yes.
Yeah, yeah. I was like into all that, and I had like my baggy. I didn't actually wear skinny jeans. I had like black baggy skinny jeans with a baggy belt, and I kind of like had my own style. And then I saw the whole scene thing, and I thought scene girls were like really pretty, and I thought I was going to try and do it myself. And then at that point, I like started cutting and dyeing my own hair. I never went to the hairdressers once to get it done. It was all mine.
You're good.
And then when I went on Tumblr, it was I suppose it was kind of like an attention-seeking thing when I was younger.
I was like, talking about that about myself. Just saying.
Yeah, like at the time you're like, oh, I'm not attention seeking, like I won't do that kind of thing, I'm here for me. And then when you look back, you're like, actually it was kind of attention seeking. And I'd literally post like everything about my life and everything I was doing, like people actually cared. And then it got to a point where it was just kind of like my old ex-boyfriends would bully me with their girlfriends as well, and then that kind of brought like more attention to me as well. But I never actually knew from the pictures and stuff that I had a following. I didn't even know. I thought Tumblr was a whole separate thing from the world, and that was like its own community, and that it wouldn't actually follow me. So when
I know exactly what you mean when you say that. Sorry to cut you off. I just want to say it trips me out that you just said all of that, because before we put you on, I was talking about how when I first was on MySpace and YouTube, like I didn't realize it was all for like attention and all of that, because no one would want to admit that. And I literally said that word for word. And then I said, now looking back, it was clearly for attention. Yeah. And I said, what kind of person would go on social media not looking for attention? It's clear that that's that. Also, about you thinking that Tumblr is one community separate from everything else. That's also how I felt when it comes to Stickam. I just always thought like, these people are their own people. The world is its own thing. So no matter how much I end up blowing up on this website, the world is separate. Like they won't know
that's
me.
Exactly what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I'd start getting like 10,000 notes on one picture. And to me, that was like back in the day, I thought 10,000 notes wasn't that much because you'd see people with like hundreds of thousands. So to me, it was just like, oh, it's just, you know,
I think social media back then also is like, you would get less likes, but it means more back then because like, I know what you're saying. Like, let's say 5,000 views or likes back then would equal to like 50,000 views or likes today. Because I feel like social media is just so widely used. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny because it's like that's a thing that I always got when I was like, even just going on like any like Tiny Chat or like any of those websites, people would be like, "Oh, you're so attention seeking." Like, what they call you, like attention whore. That was like the word, right? No, I was. That's why I'm on TikTok. You know, like we all, yes.
Even Doja Cat went on Tiny Chat all the time.
Oh yeah, no, I knew her. Yeah.
Oh, do you have any stories about her? I'm just curious.
No, I didn't like, we were like friends. I just knew I was in the same room with her sometimes. She didn't wear a lot of clothes when she went on camera, and and I man, I probably shouldn't say this, but she would definitely like kind of ruin the chat when she came on because nobody would care about anybody else. They'd be like, "Oh, dude, you're wearing lingerie."
Oh, was she popular on like before her music? Was she popular?
Yeah.
I mean, I was listening to her music since like 2014. Was she on Tiny Chat before that?
I don't know when she started. She'd been on Tiny Chat for a long time. That was her thing. There was like back in the day, like Tiny Chat had a lot of famous people. And it's funny because like I know like Stickham did too. I'm sure like even there were. Okay, Becky, did you ever go on like Omegle, however you say it, or Chat
Omegle?
I only ever went on Omegle a couple of times, and I was like, my eyes were soiled, so I just didn't go on it very much anymore.
I know what you're saying.
The old naked guy every now and then.
Yeah, no, that was like the joke. That's like why people went on it. But like also like at the time you might like meet young people, but no, so it's interesting though, because I guess like your website of choice was Tumblr. Did you ever go on MySpace?
Yeah, I did have MySpace, but that was more like before Tumblr. It was like the whole emo phase. And then that's when people started catfishing me on MySpace, actually. And I had to prove that it was me all the time. Like, I had the admins of MySpace asking me to, like, I used to have this Hello Kitty necklace in my pictures. And they were like, okay, get the Hello Kitty necklace, hold it up, like, with a piece of paper saying it's you.
Yep.
And then, obviously, I have to prove myself plenty of times. So, yeah, I did use MySpace. But a few people say they remember me from MySpace, but I wasn't big on MySpace. And I always think now, was it a catfish that they knew and not actually me? If that
how many
sense.
friends did you have on MySpace? Do you remember?
I must have only had maybe 500. It wasn't a lot at all. Compared to Tumblr, it was a very small amount.
Tumblr is where you blew up.
Yeah. I'd say it was Tumblr, definitely.
I mean, after that, when did you stop using social media and Tumblr and all of that? Like, what made you not that I'm saying that you stopped completely, because clearly you're here, but I know your little backstory because I heard through Jess. Jess is our co-host, everyone. That's her name, the Emo Chronicles, Jess. So when did you start noticing that you stopped like posting as much and just stopped like caring about it as much?
That was the worst thing that I ever did. I honestly believe that deleting Tumblr was the worst thing that I ever did, because I believe if my following would have grown and I would have, like, then people would have followed me, I could have been so much like in such a different place now and made so much more of myself. But that was, I deleted Tumblr. Like one day I was just like, right, I'm gonna delete it, and it's because I moved away to live with my boyfriend at the time. Yeah, and I was so happy and so in love and had so much to do that Tumblr was just like in the back of my mind at that point. And then 6 months later, he actually broke up with me. So I moved away.
And you gave up Tumblr for him?
Well, not for him. It was.
But
for
nothing's forever.
Well. It was in the back of my head. I was like, I'm not that famous anyway. No one knows who I am. I might as well get rid of it. I've got a new life now. And then if I would have saved it, that could have followed me. But really, I got rid of it, and then he left me anyway. So it was literally the worst thing that I could have done. But I'm still glad I did it. I'm still glad that I had the following at the time.
Yeah.
But I had so much bad stuff come with it as well. Like I literally got online bullied every single day.
So we were going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
That's
one of the
thing.
subjects that we wanted to bring up was, I was very interested in this because I don't know if you know, I don't think we actually personally spoke about this. I don't know if you even know who Amore Hilton is, but that's my sister. And she was a scene queen on MySpace and all of that and on Stickam. And so I got to see a lot of it being the like being shadowed by her, you know, and I'll admit that I'm fine with that. It's whatever. I still got the views.
Don't downplay it.
But I always got to see how she dealt with the hate and how I personally dealt with hate. And I'd do the wrong thing and actually respond a lot.
Yeah, that is exactly
trolling everyone. How'd you deal with social media hate at your time, at your peak?
To be honest, I used to actually respond when that is actually the worst thing to do. Like Tumblr had anonymous messaging and anyone could say what they wanted. And I would just constantly respond to it when really, like, I'd pretend it weren't hurting me, but in the background it would. And I built up like an anxiety that people hated me. And it actually made me really ill. I ended up on antidepressants. My life just changed because of it. So like people think, oh, you were this famous scene queen, but really it wasn't as glamorous as people think it is.
Yeah, it affects your mental health like severely. And I can say the same. I get severe anxiety to this day. And I have problems with wanting people to just accept me and just wanting to be validated. Even to this day at this age, it's just something deep down in you that you feel like it's less obviously now. And I know you probably feel that same way, but yeah, it's just like, people need to understand that if you're big on social media or even a famous actor or whatever, you got to be bulletproof. Like you can't just
but you know what the other thing to remember though is those people who were saying those things to you were your biggest fans. They were obsessed with you. They wanted to either be you or be with you, and that's why they went out of their way to say those things. And I'm like not even kidding. Like I've seen that like in doing like a lot of my research too. Like that's like every scene kid that like had to leave the internet. That's pretty much the story. Like they were bullied off of it by their fans. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And if they didn't know you, they wouldn't want to send you messages. That's not a thing. Like if I saw somebody that I didn't know, even if they were like ugly, pretty, hot, looked like this, looked like that, I wouldn't go. I wouldn't message them. It's just unless I knew who they were and then I had some type of vendetta against them, then I'll message them. So people were your fans. That's all you got to think to this day. It's just their fans.
True. And eventually it came out that you could, on anonymous messaging, you could reply, but if you replied with a certain link, it would tell you who was sending you the messages. And I found out that actually it was one of my ex-boyfriends at the time was still doing it.
Wow.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no.
Can I just say that means he was probably bitter at the fact that he left you and that you seemed like you were probably doing okay? Is that probably true or no?
No, actually, because he turned out to abuse a lot of girls after me. So he was just always an abuser.
He was obsessed with you. That's crazy. Are you?
Yeah, so I think it was just who he was, and he's just a horrible person.
Hobby of his.
Yeah.
Maybe he needed attention in a different way.
Yeah, I don't think it was just him. I think it was a lot of people. But even things like that, after I saw those things, it was just like these people just don't have anything better to do.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what though? Like you say, like, oh, you left, but like, you know, it's a good thing. Sometimes you need that for your mental health because it can get overwhelming. Like you have all these fans and you have this following and that's great. But when you're like being berated every single day by online bullies, like that, how are you, you know, like it's so toxic. It's not a bad thing that you got off of it when you think of it that way.
Yeah.
And one of my
closest friends, like online friends, not real life friends, just recently admitted to me that she used to comment on Sticky Drama and like talk shit about me and more all the time. And she told me what her username was, everything. And so I went back and saw all the comments and I was like, I remember these comments. That's so crazy. But her and I laugh it off now, but just like, I now know that the people that were hating on me either still talk to me to this day or are still watching what I'm doing to this day. And I'm not even that relevant at all these days. Or they were just secret admirers. Like they just wanted to be who I was or who Amor was or live our lives from afar. And they were just a little more immature. So they didn't know how to express it.
Yeah, that's how I feel now. And like, I still feel that people watch what I'm doing. And at this point, I'm just like, you know what, let them watch. I want them to. I want them to see how good I'm doing, how much my life has changed from that point. So it's all good for me. I can't, like, even if someone hates you or if you do get any hate comments, I still see it as a positive thing now, where before I would have seen it as bad. And now I just try and see the good in everything, really.
Oh, you have to. You know what, though? Like, anybody who's mean to you now, I personally take it as like, and I don't want to like encourage like online people coming at me, but I just personally take it as almost like a compliment. It's like you're going out of your way to give me a criticism. Like, okay, fine. I don't know.
It's like online advice.
Yeah, like
If I get loads of messages now of hate, I'm just gonna blame it on this whole podcast.
Have people been a lot nicer to you on TikTok though?
What was that? Sorry.
Have people been a lot nicer to you on TikTok?
They have. I've never actually had anything negative. I've had a few comments about my eyebrows, which I don't think they're that bad.
They're not.
Like, you know, when you have to like ban a comment at the bottom or like a certain word. Like my certain word is eyebrows.
Really?
No.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you could do that.
Yeah, and
I know what she's talking about.
A few people like, I don't even know who you are. And I just think, well, why comment that? Like, why put I don't know who you are? Just leave it.
Because they know who you are.
Yeah, they do. Well, they're also probably they're probably as old as when your fandom ended. You know what I mean? Like, because there's a lot of young kids that will do that will comment. They'll be like, who is this? And it's like, okay, well, you're 10 years old.
Talking to you.
Yeah.
Kiddo,
now you know. Yeah, now you know. Yeah.
I have a question for you, Becky. Rebecca. May I call you Rebecca? No, I'm kidding. Becky.
No, it's actually Becky on my birth certificate, so you can't.
Whoa. I love that. Okay. I'm gonna call you Rebecca from now on anyway. No, I'm kidding. So that way now your nickname would be Rebecca then, because it's not no, but okay, Becky, I have a question. Would you ever use a blow dryer hair mount? It would be mounted on the wall and you'd be able to style your hair as it's just blow drying it, or do you think that's a little difficult? What do you think?
It's a word from our sponsor.
I don't actually blow dry my hair.
You don't blow dry your hair? It just naturally dries like that?
Yeah, it doesn't dry this straight. I've straightened it to come
Okay, all right. See, yeah, no, that's the thing. I didn't see the only one with his natural curls right now. Mine's
No, I blow dry my hair. This is like flatter than it usually is.
Oh, okay. Well, no, that's
hair. It's like
yeah, mine does the same thing. It goes full out, but I still want to do the emo thing. Hey, does anybody ever tell you to do the middle part, Becky?
I did it for a little while. I've got a few pictures online, but I don't really like it. I think I've got quite a round face, so when I've got like a middle part in it, I just look quite chubby. I've got chubby angles.
I have a heart shape. You cannot middle with a heart shape. People don't understand
the middle part. Here I go.
Oh no.
Oh no. My name is Bradley. I'm from the 90s. Come sit with me. Okay, I'm sorry. Let's just,
no, you should do it. Yeah. I think it's a good look.
Don't ever do that. Don't ever do that.
You're like, I don't want to touch the two, but
it's like so sprayed together.
Hey, it looks good. You look good middle parted.
Oh, it actually does.
It literally naturally sits right.
Oh, it actually does. What? Oh, come on. You're one of those where you actually look like a crazy
nerd when I do it.
Yeah, we're not even going to talk. We're going to try this. It's going to mess with my hair for the whole show.
Let's all just put our middle parts in. Yeah, you look good too with the middle part.
I don't think guys are meant to middle part.
Can't say I'm a fan.
But no, this is all, it's really interesting how that happened, how like hate follows everybody, like no matter what your platform. But like I was kind of saying, like I don't get a lot of hate on my platform, which is so just insane. Like I do get it.
It's lucky.
It's what?
Yeah.
I feel like it's lucky that you
don't. Oh, lucky. Yeah, I couldn't hear. Yeah, seriously, no kidding. I mean, I did make Zeus said hate me, but you know,
I think things will change around soon.
Yeah, I hope so anyway.
Just from certain premonitions that I've been having.
Yeah.
Just give you more viewers anyway, so keep it
going. That's what I'm saying, right? Literally. So, did you have any favorite scene girls? Talking about scene girls.
I actually didn't. I didn't actually follow anyone. That was the weird thing.
Oh, what?
Like obviously I saw a few on Google and I liked the hair, but I was never like I want to be like this person or I want to be like her. Like I never followed any of the lives. It was just,
and that's why you became your own thing.
So you were just new. You were just literally like, I'm gonna put the purple here and do my thing. That you know what though? But I mean, like you did have a unique look though, because that was not like a copycat of any other scene girl.
The pastel-ishness to it was very unique also. Like because you know how everyone, at least in the MySpace days, was like neon yellow, neon pink. Well, yellow wasn't even a big thing back then, but like neon turquoise, all that, and cotton candy. But then yours was pretty pastel-y, at least that photo that I see, which I think like kind of set its own little trend there, because now, like not now, but like at that time, pastel hair, and kind of now too, pastel colored hair was becoming really prominent.
I've actually bought all the pastel colours again.
Yes. Wait.
Are you dyeing it soon?
Wait.
And I've got the exact same purple that I used back in the day as well, like the
Wait.
same hair dye. I bought the hair scissors, everything.
So we're
Do
doing.
it.
So we're doing this on TikTok, right?
Like that TikTok sound. I
Yeah,
did
the
it.
only thing that I don't like about TikTok is you can make a video, like my videos have got good views, but I'm worried that the one where I do my hair and I change it all, it is not
It'll
going to
get
get
like
likes
20.
or any views. And I'm
Yeah.
so scared because it is going to be such a big thing for me. And I'm not just doing it for the views, but I'm kind of doing it for like everyone. Do you know what I mean? Not just for me, because
No, it's gonna do really good. It's gonna, if you do it right, if you put like a picture of what you looked like beforehand and then you do it and you kind of do piece by piece, be like turning into my old scene self. I think it'll do great.
If you use the sound, girl, I'm not gonna do it. I'm just thinking about it. I did it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
oh, sorry, Brad Mondo.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, I'm Brad Mondo.
The only thing is though, like I don't want to show a picture of me, then do my hair, and everyone think that I'm trying to copy the image, and it's not me. If you get what I mean.
I know what you mean, but then you can kind of put back to my old style, like and at the caption or like at the top or something like that. And I'll comment
you're
and
gonna do a
support
good
it.
job. Yeah, I think I'm pretty positive about this one. I think like that's the thing is you have so much potential. There's actually, it's funny because you're one of a few. I mean, there's not too many, but there's a few scene girls who are trying to make a comeback. Some of them are not getting any followers because they don't really have the same type of traction. But you have, what's your follower count now?
40.7K.
Nice.
Okay.
It's
See,
gone up.
that's awesome. That's really awesome.
Can I say that I even tried to get a more Hilton to get back into her whole brand and all of that, and it turned into a whole shit show. We're not talking right now. She's not she's not in the right world right now to even be able to do all of that. She's too busy with her dramatic life that she's been leading for the past 10 years. But that's fine. I was telling her, take advantage of it. You got this, you got the name, all that. You're smart for actually doing it and picking up and actually getting the followers, everything back slowly but surely. And I think nowadays we can actually capitalize on these things because the internet pays, and back then it didn't. So I feel like it's really smart.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously. I think right now is a really good time. And like, so what other things have you been up to besides just like your 40,000? That's a lot of people, by the way, followers on TikTok.
So since Tumblr or like
yeah like what
Yeah,
go
in
ahead.
general, yeah.
I don't know to tell you like before Tumblr what happened in my life or after. It's just been so busy. I've had such a busy time.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, I don't even know where to start. So
Like when you got back, well, when you started dating your boyfriend and left Tumblr, how was that? What were you doing then?
oh, well, I was absolutely devastated when that happened. I was absolutely heartbroken because I thought I'd met the love of my life. We were only 19, and obviously, like when you're that young, you think it's going to be forever.
Oh yeah.
So I moved 30 miles away, and 30 miles doesn't seem much, but so my backstory is I haven't got a mum. Like I lost my mum when I was 18, so I'd already had a hard, complicated life before any of this had happened anyway. Like even through the Tumblr times. And I used to post a lot about that on my Tumblr, which maybe is why I got followers, because they might have felt like they could relate. So then when my ex did leave me, it was only like a couple of years after all this had happened. So to me, like I clung on to him to make me happy, if you get what I mean. Like I wanted him to take all the sadness away. And then when he left me, it was like, what am I going to do? I'm in the middle of nowhere because he kicked me out of home. Like I had nowhere to live. I didn't have my mum there for me. And my dad isn't a very nurturing kind of person. He's like one of those people like a rock's a rock, that's it, get over it kind of thing. So I didn't have anything to go to or anyone to help me. So his mum basically knew a couple, and I had to go and lodge with them for a little bit until I found what I wanted to do. Like I didn't ever wanted to go back to my old life to go and live with my dad, which obviously when like you're like 20, you don't want to go and live back with your parents once you've moved out. Or do I start again in Morecambe, which is by the beach, and it's really nice here as well. And I thought, when I went to go and live with this couple, they were really, really lovely. They were a spiritual couple, and they looked after me for a year. And they said to me, why don't you save up and get yourself a mortgage while you're here? So while I was there, I saved up for a mortgage. So that's what I've got now, and that's where I'm living. I'm still in Morecambe.
Where's that? Where exactly is that?
So it is in the northwest of England.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Cool. If I
Um,
was there, I would have taken you under my wing, just saying. If no one else would take you, I would have been like, scene girl, let's do this
yeah.
together,
Well,
please.
the funny thing as well, they were 70 and they were like my grandparents. And that was really a really lovely experience because they were so much wiser than me. They taught me so much about life.
Hmm.
But then I moved here. I got myself a job in a builder's supply. So I worked in a builder's supply for 5 years. And then after 2 years, they left. So I'm literally stuck here now and I've got no one. It's just me. And I have to try and I'm still building my life up. And then I worked in a builder's supply for 5 years. I had a couple of abusive boyfriends. So I've been through all the mill with crap boyfriends and now I'm just.
Did they leave without warning or anything, or they let you know that they were leaving?
The people that I lived with, I thought you meant my boyfriends.
Oh no.
No, they basically said after I'd moved here, well, we're going to move to Wales in 2 years. And the only reason I did stay is because I thought at least I'd have them. Like they were like my new family, and I thought, well, at least I've got them. And they only moved last year, at the beginning of last year. So
was it hard for you to like let them go? Were you close with them and stuff?
well, yeah, but because of everything that happened with my mum when I was younger, and obviously my boyfriend leaving me, I then got attachment issues. So when anyone leaves me, I kind of like cling on, and I'm like, even if it's bad for me, I don't want to let go of it because it's the only thing I've got, if that makes sense, apart from me, because I've had a hard life. And it's like, I don't know, I'm a lot better now and I'm a lot stronger of a person. Like I'm an artist now, so that keeps me busy.
Oh yeah, I've seen your work. It's amazing, by the
I'll show you
way.
this one that
Yeah,
I've.
show us
Okay,
that.
let's go.
I don't know if the camera's flipped.
No.
Whoa, I feel like you just brought a screen onto the screen.
I
That
know.
was crazy.
What do you use to draw
Whoa.
that?
Yeah.
It's an acrylic painting.
Okay, you're
Wow.
so talented.
It looks like an
I
actual
can't.
cartoon on a screen that you
I
just
know.
Yeah.
like, that's crazy. And
But
I mean, like,
go on.
no, I was just gonna say
You're like, keep
we
complimenting
will
us.
never leave you. We will never leave you. Just want to let you know, we will never leave you as friends. We are now your new besties. Okay.
Yes.
Just letting you.
Oh yeah, let's go.
No, but honestly, like I'm the happiest I've ever been at this point. I've obviously got an OF account, so I make money off that. That makes me happy. Like I can just support myself now. Sorry, something's just come up.
You just got that. I noticed you all like looked.
I was like, yeah. Anyway,
What was that for?
so I can support myself a lot better now.
Oh.
I've got myself a mortgage. I'm an artist. I've got good friends. Obviously, there's been the lockdown and the coronavirus, which hasn't been very good, but I'm happy. I'm out of work because I worked at a builder supply and they unfairly dismissed me. So that went.
Are you on unemployment, or do they have that out there?
Wow, it's a good question.
Yeah, well, I was only unemployed for a month and then I did care work. So I was a carer for like elderly dementia. And I worked in some mental health homes as well. And that was quite fun. But I kind of just work for myself now, doing artwork and doing OF. So
Time to worry about yourself and not others, because you've been working and jobs about other people. So
just have a nice relaxed life, and I'm not really looking for a relationship or anything. I'm just happy. And it sounds like such a boring life, but I prefer it because the less people you know, the less drama.
it's a good
Oh,
life.
amen on that. No, that's good. You know what? It sounds like you've been through a lot, and it's funny how far you've come from there. I mean, it's not funny. It's amazing, really. You know, like you were famous on Tumblr. You went through all of that. Then you just went on. You lived a normal life, and you're back now. I think that's so cool. Just after everything you've gone through. So, yeah, I think you should share that. You know, people, if that was a big thing on Tumblr that people really related with you on, I think it's a really heartwarming message, to be honest. And
Yeah,
I think you should share that more.
the only thing I find hard now though is like trying to fit everything into 60 seconds. Like I did a video tonight, tried to fit it all in 60 seconds. It got about 50 likes and I just thought I'm just gonna scrap it and try again another day. Like it's just so hard to get the message across as well. But like anyone, like I always believe like you make your own future. No matter what has happened to you, you can't feel sorry for yourself. You have to get back up and try. Like you just you make your own future, and that's just how I see it. And
have you thought of transitioning to YouTube eventually?
Right, so this is going to sound really embarrassing and it does make me cringe, but I feel like an old woman with technology. Like, I literally can't use technology. I can only just about use a laptop. So, like, when I went to get an Xbox and started streaming on Xbox, it was like hell for me. Like, even plugging it into the TV, I was like, where do I start?
Let me help you out. Like, YouTube is just like, it's as easy as TikTok. You just upload the video and put the title and caption. That's it. Like,
and I don't want to be one of those people that have like really low quality videos of a cheesy tune behind it. Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
that.
but like, you know, it's relatable, and relatability really sells these days. And I think your camera is a good quality camera,
Yeah,
but if
your
you're talking
camera
about
looks
like
good
low
quality.
quality as in no production, that's fine. Everyone starts out with no production in the beginning of their YouTube careers. Just look at James Charles' old
I might
videos.
actually give that a go.
Yeah, you should. You really should. I mean, we're putting this podcast on YouTube, and I haven't posted on my YouTube in a while besides my little videos, but nothing actually like important enough for me to actually like, you know.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I think, yeah, that'd be really cool. I love it. I love going to all different types of like social media. I'm trying to branch out. I just made a Patreon. Like, I'm trying. It's a thing, but
See, I don't know how Patreon works or any of that. So I get what she's saying when it comes to the whole, I'm just scared to start new technological things because I'm like, I'm not going to know how to do that. Even with TikTok.
Yeah, I'm the same.
My friends
TikTok,
were-
yeah, was a struggle for me. Yeah.
Yeah, my friends were telling me you should get TikTok because I would post the weirdest things on my stories on Instagram all the time. They're like, you should post this type of stuff on TikTok. And I was like, really? But no, I'm not. And I made a TikTok and only started using it a year after I made it. So I get it.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, no, I feel that TikTok took me a while. You know, when I first actually downloaded TikTok, I had a glitch. And every time I tried to talk, it would turn my audio into a robot. It was so annoying. It would squeal and it would make this obnoxious noise. I finally got a new phone and it went away. So I guess
Did
it
you
was
have
like
a Galaxy or something?
no, I had the
Oh.
iPhone 8 Plus. It was like it's still in its prime. And then I got the 11 and it was so weird. I could only respond when I was responding to like questions, but I couldn't make a video. It was like it was a TikTok thing. I also reported it, so I don't know, but so yeah, no, in conclusion with all of this, like, yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to come here and talk about all of this. I think that's
especially for the time difference. Yeah.
Thank
yeah,
you for
really,
having me.
yeah, a very heartwarming message. Thank you so much for all of that. I'm sure like people are gonna absolutely love seeing you on here because I know, like, I remember seeing your hair pictures and you were like a major inspiration for me too. And gotta ask, how many followers did you have on Tumblr?
Now,
Did you then when you were in your
only 5,000, I think.
really?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. For the
It wasn't
followers,
like the
right?
yeah.
It's more
No,
about,
it was like I had about 5,000 followers, but my pictures had like 10,000 notes. So it was more
it
like
was more about the
people had
notes.
seen it and they probably knew who I were, but they didn't follow me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
I remember
100%.
Tumblr being like that.
That's what it was. It's weird because like TikTok is, you can just get so many fans, and like it was like you were way more famous with way less fans. Even YouTube was like that. YouTubers.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like it has to do with like the time of like like this generation like gets way more views than the old generation, but those views equate to these views because of the amount of people online and just
That's
the
true.
accessibility.
It's a currency.
Yeah, it really is.
It's the
Inflation.
currency, yeah, the time.
Inflation.
I've decided now, and it's like the ultimate goal for everyone, but I just want to be rich.
Oh my God, right. Yeah, right there with you.
I want to milk it as much as I can. Like any publicity, even if it's bad, I don't care at this point. I'm just gonna live my life and do what I can. And do you know what? Like even with like the OF stuff, like I don't even care what people think about me, because at the end of the day, it's my life and I'm making money, and it makes me happy. Money makes the world go round, of course.
Yes, couldn't agree
content.
more.
Yeah, and it's like if it takes TikTok, if it takes Tumblr, if it takes YouTube, I'm gonna do it all. I'm gonna smash it.
Yeah, you should.
Would you ever come back onto the podcast if we re-invited you just to like carry on and continue our conversation and stuff like that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, definitely. I'd love to.
That'd be awesome. Okay, so thank you so much for coming on. This has been so much fun. We like talked for what this is probably an hour podcast, and there's so much content to talk about. And potentially having Becky Mayo on sounds like a really good thing. We have actually quite a lineup of potential guest stars and a lot of pretty cool inside information.
Yeah, if you guys tune in every week, you'll actually be able to see who's going to be on the next episode from that week. Or if you just want to subscribe to the channel, if you're watching this on YouTube, if you're listening to this on a different media source, then just stay tuned whichever way you can. And you'll definitely get a lot of tea from the past and the present with these scene kids, these emo kids, these goth kids, everyone, all the old influencers. So definitely tune in.
Yeah, stay tuned for the future.
And I have lots of secrets to reveal.
Oh, do. Okay. All right.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Love you guys. Yeah, we're doing the scene heart now. Okay, bye guys.
Love you all.